Hello friends, hope you are well. Techman Pat here. Today I'm bringing you a new episode of the Malware Report, the tech and telco show from all around Australia. And it's election day, yay, raise your glasses for a new government, though as I write this and obviously even read it out, I don't know who won, and you may never know. The craziness right now, we don't know what will happen. Imagine if ScoMo got another term. But for now, let's leave potential nightmares in the dark and see what we have in today's show. We have an update on NBN as it continues its existence in caretaker mode. Boring numbers, of course. New South Wales digital driver's license can be fudged, probably to buy booze. Is it time to close shop on the COVID app? Yes, more than likely it is. And lastly, a note about Canada. Apparently it is a real country. Thanks for jumping in. Make sure you like this video if you did and subscribe if you'd like to see more and of course to support us. Let's get started by rolling the intro. Let's start off by looking at the numbers from an AVC ACCC report about the NBN. A nice summary was actually done by IT News, links below if you'd like to read that article. You see, if you happen to jump on board the free upgrade promotion by NBN and got a higher speed plan for a lower price, then you may or may not be aware that that discount has ended and you'll be paying full price. IT News goes into details on that, and it looks like an average of 65% of customers stayed on the plan while the rest downgraded to pay less. Not a bad result. Secondly, it seems that Aussie Broadband has outpaced all the other telcos on their high-speed plans by an insane margin. And a little bit more on that later. Now, I wanted to go into some of the other numbers in this report, as I think they're quite interesting too.
Just a quick post-recording interjection, and thanks to Damien from Launtel for the explanation of this table. Check out their great NBN offerings in the link below. There are basically three classes of traffic on the NBN, 1, 2, and 4. That's right, there was a Traffic 3 proposed, but it never happened. Traffic 1 class is used for voice, so voice over IP. TC2 is for business services, and TC4 is for everyone else, which is what the vast majority of internet traffic is set on. The difference between them is the priority they have on the actual NBN network. The lower the number, the higher the priority. And the higher priority also attracts a higher price. Every standard service, TC4, comes with 0.15 megabyte of TC1 traffic for voice connections, but it is often not used. As you look at class 4, you can see how many customers are taking up the service per connection type and the speed they receive.
In these tables, we can see how many customers of each type of NBN services our leading telcos hold. In all scenarios, Telstra holds the most number of customers across the connection types, and according to this, there are as many fiber to the node users as there are fiber to the premises, curb and basement put together. Now, TPG is second on all and Optus is third, while Aussie Broadband and Vocus fight it out for fourth and fifth, and it's actually really impressive to see how Aussie Broadband is competing against Vocus. Now, speed-wise, it looks like 50 megabits down is still the most popular plan, while the actual average speed of each state, as you can see in this graph, is pretty low.
38.
Then we have the 100 megabits and 25 megabits close second, and on the high-speed NBN, which is reserved for fiber-like connections, we get to see that Home Ultra Fast, which offers 600 megabits down in the evening, is extremely popular, and again with Aussie Broadband having the largest share of customers in that band. The 250 megabit plan is the most popular in the high-speed offerings, and in contrast, the 1000 megabit plans are not being taken up at all. But again, Aussie Broadband has the largest share, and I really wonder why. It's pretty impressive. Finally, something that may be a surprise to some on this table, the amount of regional services is only 1 million shy of the metro, meaning that NBN Co's regional service accounts for nearly 40% of all services, and that's a significant number of people who won't be getting any of the high-speed plans. Let me know your thoughts below and let's move on. Now, unlike McLovin's ID, which is funny, the New South Wales government doesn't believe it's funny when you fake their digital ID. Well, according to an article from Devol Labs linked below, the New South Wales digital driver's license is not as secure as their website states. Devol Labs specifically calls out this line in the New South Wales page on privacy and digital licenses that it will provide additional levels of security and protection against identity fraud compared to the plastic driver license. Well, with a plastic driver's license, you need a specific printer, a special card, special stuff that isn't potentially even legal to get. But with the digital fraud, all you need is a phone and a laptop. So which one is harder? Now, you don't have to be a skilled coder either to make this happen. And the most interesting part is that they can happen without any jailbreaking of the iPhone. Generally, when an iPhone is jailbroken, all security features of apps go out the window. In this case, it's worse. It was observed that digital driver's license data is included in the device's backups, which means that the attacker or anyone wanting to commit fraud can modify their license details on the file on the computer without needing to do anything special on their device. And New South Wales call it a feature, or actually iPhone call it a feature. What makes matters worse, according to this post, that the digital driver's license data contained on the backup is only protected by a 4-digit PIN, which was cracked within minutes via a brute force method that tried 10,000 different combinations. If you have ever used the Service New South Wales app and have backed up your phone to your computer, then there's a good chance that the private license data such as your name, signature, license number, and address is sitting on your computer in a backup file. That's pretty much compromised now, thanks to the weak encryption built into that Service New South Wales app. From a fraudster's perspective, the digital license data is updated by manually editing the device backups, then the forged digital license data is pushed back to the device through the use of the device's normal restore process. Then, with some slight tweaks to networking settings and the fact that the New South Wales Authority API that they host doesn't even validate the data, you got yourself an authenticated forged digital identity and a massive security hole. Are underage teenagers creating fake IDs to get into clubs and buy booze? Probably. Is this the easiest method? Maybe not, but according to some tweets, there are even easier ways to fake one unrelated to this, but this one makes it pretty much official, though obviously not legal. Let me know your experiences with the New South Wales digital app and if you're worried about this security hole. A parliamentary report on the human malware response of Australia has been released to the public as it fronted Senate this week. The report covers initial readiness, management, vaccine rollout, 244 pages summarizing the last 2 years of the pandemic. A perfect farewell to our glorious leader. Links below, of course. So tech-wise, let's scroll down to page 91 of the PDF and page 78 if you're a monster who decided to print the entire report, killing a forest in the process. Don't you just love the text in people's email signatures? Please consider not printing this email. Can you imagine the kind of monster who prints emails? Now, I personally don't like spoilers, but in this case, let me share the recommendation from the committee. The committee recommends that the Australian government cease any further expenditure of public funds on the failed COVIDSafe application. As you may remember, previous reports raised concerns with the cost of the COVID app versus the result, which was 18 people were contacted via the system. The ROI was pretty bleak. Now, the report also highlights that while all app potential contacts need to be validated by contact tracers, a significant number of these individuals are either false close contacts or individuals already identified by standard contact tracing. The state's apps seem to work quite well too, checking in and out, a simple solution but elegant. So here's the meat of this vegan pie. As of October 4th, 2021, the COVIDSafe app has cost Australian taxpayers $9.19 million, including GST, of which $2.77 million were costs associated with hosting the app using Amazon Web Services. So who really made money out of this one? Furthermore, the government has estimated the monthly maintenance cost of COVIDSafe app to be between $75,000 to $60,000 monthly. Incredible. Something that is still being paid even now as restrictions ease, and according to the report, states have given up using it completely. And you may also remember people gave up too, as it drained their battery due to a myriad of under-the-hood bugs. It made no sense for this app to exist when each state developed their own contact tracing systems on taxpayer dollars. Sure, those had issues too, but they worked to the point of making COVIDSafe app redundant. Let me know your thoughts below. You can also smash the like button and subscribe. Lastly, on the international side, we have Canada, the 51st state of America. The can't go bankrupt if I break an arm state. Now, ignoring universal healthcare because obviously it doesn't matter much, Canada has finally joined the US, UK, Australia, and New Zealand in banning Huawei networking equipment for its wireless carriers. Providers who already have Huawei equipment installed will be required to remove it, and this covers things like 5G technology and specifically the company ZTE Corp, which is owned by Disney. China. Of course, China, in their infinite freedom and wisdom, have called the move political manipulation to disrupt the free market. Further to that, the Chinese embassy in Canada also said this statement: China will comprehensively and seriously evaluate the incident and take all necessary measures to safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese companies. Is any market actually free? Rhetorical question, put that aside. Why is this significant? Well, it's taken years for Canada to do this. It's probably not the best idea to have your country's mobile network run off hardware that's under the thumb of a communist country, forgetting about the back doors Chinese equipment uses the front door. So stay tuned to this channel for more Huawei product reviews. And I guess on that conundrum, I have to end the show before the CCP does it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Make sure to vote. Come back next week for more. You can in fact like this video. Didn't know you could do that. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Subscribe to support us, and I'll catch you all in another one. Bye!